have been announced. Sit tight. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome, folks. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for the latest presentation of our NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan with Hall of Famer Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, giving us the rundown from the sideline courtside, David Aldridge. And for a look at how the competition stacks up right now, these the new power rankings. They tell a great story. Taking a look at Phoenix. They've climbed all the way up to the second spot.
And right now for Tampa, they made their presence felt right from the opening tip, taking matters into their own hands and showing no let-up.
So the opening lineup for the Suns. Booker and Bridges are the wings. Ayton is out there with Frank Kaminsky. And it's Paul in at the point guard. And for Tampa, we've got the monster. Anthony is out there with Williams. Then it's Isaiah Thomas. Looking at current NBA players, Greg, leaving aside the real star players, who would you love to have played with from this era?
I mean, there's so many guys that, you know, and I hate to call them role players because they bring so much more to the table, but in reality they got to fill some roles, right? And you know, John Collins is a guy who's got great potential, a tremendous finisher around the rim. How about Robert Covington, a smooth shooter who defends his tail off? Davis Bertans, a deadly floor spacer who can put the ball down and create and make plays. So there's so many guys like that in the league that make a difference in determining whether your team can win or lose.
Boy, those are three names I don't know that I would have mentioned, so I'm glad you did. Williams finds Anthony. Sinks the three-pointer.
Just so fluid on all his shots. No hesitation for Melo on the catch and shoot.
And it's Phoenix's ball. It's a three-point game. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
Well, when you're facing a team that's feeding off the crowd's energy, you have to bring your A game, and they didn't do that defensively.
One thing you know, Greg, is you've got to pack your defense in the suitcase if you're going to win on the road, and they simply did not bring it.
Shot's good by Williams.
And he likes to get in a rhythm early. Nice triple.
Suns still looking like they're getting going here. This is their first chance this season playing Tampa. Ayton kicks to Paul. Pass to Kaminsky. That's tipped. Outside Thomas. Off target with his three. And so it's Paul bringing it up for Phoenix. Pass to Ayton. Over Howard. Cans the 12-footer.
I love this young man's mindset. When he has the basketball, he's looking to score. You know, you think back to DeAndre Ayton's college career, he demonstrated three-point range, and while he's eager to show that in the NBA, the Suns want him to attack the rim. Well, what he lacks in size for a typical center, he makes up for with all that athleticism. Boy, can he elevate.
For Phoenix, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Out to the right wing. Bridges passes to Ayton. Rebounded by Anthony.
And Monty Williams said, offensively, Ayton's got to be 80% beast, 20% shooter.
The reason they say that, Greg, is they want him to exploit the elite physical tools he brings to the game. If he can draw more fouls, he can get to the free throw line. And he's such a good shooter there, it only makes sense.
Here's Paul after the basket by Tampa. Back to Booker. Some nice ball movement here by the Suns. There's the pick. Fires it up. The shot's good from Paul.
Well, to a good point guard, running the pick and roll in the NBA is second nature. Chris Paul's been doing this a long, long time.
And it's slammed in by Howard.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. And it's the Suns with the ball after the basket by Tampa.
Well, this has not been a quarter to remember for this guy. He looks completely flustered.
And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up. And Phoenix gets called for the foul.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading.
Tampa leading by 12. And now brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So for Tampa, the 5 right now. Otto Porter Jr. out there with the monster. Then it's Williams. And it's Okeke in at the 3 spot. Now here's Ayton. And that one, good.
How about the power from DeAndre Ayton on that finish right through the contact.
Outside Williams. Okeke passes to Howard. And the rejection by Ayton. And the foul on the monster.
Side out.
That's his first foul.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
A tremendous mobile 1 block that we had to see again. Great send back.
And he's all over that shot, has it read the whole way and gets the position he needs to make a play.
Suns trail by 10. It's Crowder on the wing. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Ayton against Howard. Nice move, and that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
I'll tell you, this guy already a double-double threat nightly, and DeAndre Ayton's ceiling is still high. Now, he's got to go ahead and reach those expectations by putting in the work.
That free throw, no good. Greg, if you're a small market team, how do you convince stars that you've drafted and developed to stay and re-sign?
It's a great question, Kevin. I actually think in a lot of ways it's easier today because you can be box office. You can be a superstar in a small market and have the name recognition because of the era we play in. And so I think the biggest way to keep them there is to build a championship caliber team around them. I think that is your saving grace. If you can prove to them that you can build a championship caliber team, I don't really think that there is a reason to want to leave.
That's a solid blueprint. Now here's Booker. In the loss to the Warriors the other night, definitely was not himself. Here's Ayton, and Ayton throws it down.
Well, you love Crowder's willingness to distribute the basketball. His vision allows him to set his teammates beautifully.
And he's good on the 3 ball. He has 6.
And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
One thing we've learned in the NBA, the game is never over. So you've got to continue to score, continue to build your lead.
Here's Bridges. After Tampa picked up a 3 with their last shot. For 3, Booker. That shot misses.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
But they recover it. Here's Williams, and he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket. Williams has got 5 now.
And the D getting outworked there on the putback. Can't let that happen.
You have got to put a body on somebody. We talk about it ad nauseum, but you've got to be disciplined with the box outs.
Now here's Porter. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. And he gets the whistle for the 3-second call. And a quick look at how the Suns' schedule is shaping up. On Friday, they'll face off against Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers. Then on Monday, they'll be playing against Lou Williams and the Atlanta Hawks. Here's Paul, coming in off a 21-point game his last outing. Booker outside. There's the 3. No good that time. And Tampa will come the other way. They are coming into this having notched a win against the Knicks in their last game.
Mental toughness on the road. The arena was rocking, but they just got down to business and never let up.
I thought what really stood out was how dominant they were on the offensive end. That was about as flawless as you could hope for.
A quick job of getting up the floor and creating early offense.
You don't give the defense any chance to set up. Sometimes you just love an easy look.
And so here's Phoenix, trailing by 17. And first time out of the game called for Phoenix.
They're trying to stem the tide here.
Yeah, this is why you hate to lose momentum. It can be hard to get it back.
teams changing it up here. So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. Tampa out in front, just dominating this one. Stay with us, folks. We'll get back just after halftime to start the third quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back. The first half mercifully coming to a close. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny's here. Shaq is here. Checking out Tampa. Kenny, how'd you see it?
They looked like they were playing an easy game of pitch and catch out there. The playmakers and finishers were in sync on every level. The assist disparity, now that was big. Now that's the reason why it's a blowout right now, and they played well.
And over to Shaq. What did you think about Phoenix?
Well, there are a few areas they need to improve on, but perimeter defense is priority numero uno. They got to be quicker to close out on the three-point shooters. You got to prevent the open looks. They weren't fighting through screens. They're just not doing enough, Ernie, especially outside.
And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. And here's Thomas, who brings it up for Tampa. On Phoenix, looking who they've got on the floor. Booker and Bridges are the wings. Kaminsky out there with Ayton. And it's Paul in at the point. Now Bridges still looking for his first bucket in this one. Kaminsky misses.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
Great open look there. Anthony's got his team on the board first here in the second half for Tampa.
His three-point shot can be streaky from game to game and season to season, but Melo's certainly a threat from out there.
Well, Phoenix shooting a pretty low, 34% thus far. Paul passes to Ayton. Kicks it to Kaminsky. 20 feet out. And it's wide right. It's off the rim. Tampa shooting at 52% from the field. They're clicking. Williams finds Thomas. Here is Howard. Outside Williams. Back to Howard. Just 5 to shoot. Count the bucket. And he's got a free throw coming up as well.
Boy, that's a backbreaker. Takes it right into the rim and extends their lead.
You want to make sure your opponent knows they have absolutely zero chance of a comeback, and nice finish by him.
And the free throw good from Howard. Greg, as a point guard, you must have had so much fun being surrounded by so much terrific talent at UNLV.
You know, Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, I mean, I could go on. And you're right, I was blessed to play alongside these guys. They were incredible talents, finishers. And, you know, you don't always appreciate it going through that moment, but the fact that we're all still close and stay in contact, man, what an awesome experience to be a part of that team.
Chemistry must have been off the charts on that team.
It was, and we had a lot of personalities, man. It was a different era back then. But I tell you, again, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything.
And the pass to Booker. Now here's Ayton. Now here's Paul. The dish to Booker. Takes it inside. And the dunk by Booker.
Well, he can do this now. Booker is not just a spot-up shooter. Very good with the ball in his hands.
Outside Thomas. Ayton against Howard. Over Ayton. That one off the back iron and out. For Phoenix, they've gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Passes to Booker. And here is Bridges. He's still scoreless so far in this one. But drive by Booker. Carmelo Anthony comes up with the rebound. Booker's got 3 of his 9 shots to fall. Outside Anthony. Howard setting the pick for Anthony. Pass to Howard. And now we're 3 minutes into the third quarter of play. Some solid defense from Ayton. Ball passes to Ayton. Here he goes, and Ayton throws it down.
That is the very definition of powerful, Mr. Ayton.
Lobs it up for Anthony. Oh, and the jam by Anthony.
Oh, the pass is perfect, and Carmelo just finishes with style.
Little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. Bridges kicks to Booker. Paul with the ball. Now Thomas defending. Kaminsky dishes to Booker. The shot's good.
And a lot of teams avoid the mid-range jumper, but they seem to be using it well.
For Tampa, they've gone 3 of 7 on field goal attempts here in the second half.
I mean, such an easy release for Devin Booker. Doesn't have to elevate that much to get that shot off.
And what that means, Greg, is that smooth stroke translates into the three-point shootout. Booker with the all-time record, 28 points in a round. That leads to a victory in 2018 in that contest. That was special. I'll tell you, most of the time this guy's going to finish that, but that was tremendous defense that prohibits him from completing the play.
The shot by Anthony, no good. And stolen by Howard. Williams for 3. It's hauled in by the Suns. Over to the wing. Bridges for 3. The rebound by Tampa. Howard's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Outside Williams. The floater. And the rejection by Ayton.
Outstanding shot blocker. DeAndre Ayton off his feet in a hurry to send it back.
And the foul on the Monsters. And that'll be... And we'll get a look at how the hustle stat game has been going for Tampa.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
Yeah, and I think something they've also worked hard at tonight is crashing the boards. The second chance points have been coming in bunches.
And the league taking steps to discourage teams, Greg, from tossing away seasons in search of high draft picks. Has enough been done, you think, in that regard?
We'll see. I tell you, the idea of a play-in
tournament. That's a tough one, isn't it?
For the last few playoff spots. I think that's a good idea, actually. It might keep more teams in the hunt down the stretch. And I think the onus also, if the fans put enough pressure on their teams to try to develop what they have and not always put it on the future, I think that's going to help. But I think it's...
What about that dunk?
That was special. My goodness.
Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game. Pass to Payne to the wing right side. Feeds to Ayton. Over Howard. And there's Ayton, and that's good on the assist from Bridges. And it's 13 points for DeAndre Ayton. Miller outside. Now the pass to Okeke. And here is Howard. He's covered by Ayton. Howard's shot is good. Howard's got 4 points this quarter.
Well, he's a scorer first, but Melo making the right read there.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Passes it to Payne. Ayton in the high post. Scores the bucket. He's 7 for 11 and continues to look good.
Well, the big man flashing his touch. DeAndre Ayton makes it look easy.
Tampa has gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Miller against Paul. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. Greg, you know, we're seeing players take control of their free agent destiny. Do players get a bad rap for that and switching teams?
Listen, I don't know if you get a bad rap, but you're going to catch the wrath of the fan base. You think of Paul George.
Pass to Howard. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Shooting for Tampa, Howard, taking 2 shots.
And he can't get the first one. Both teams will make substitutions. And he sinks the second. 1:36 left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Crowder. Here's Galloway. Good ball movement here by the Suns. The shot by Nader, no good. Tampa has gotten just 1 of 4 three-pointers to go down for them here in the fourth.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for Tampa.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, an all-around dominant performance. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that, and man, they just pretty much blew them right out of the water. A clinic was put on display here today.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
There's 45 seconds left in the fourth. Here's Howard, and foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. It's going to be on Jay Crowder.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Howard, 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. There's 39 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Johnson outside. He kicks it to Galloway. To the paint. And it's sent back by Howard. And he's able to get it back. Shot clock at 3.
And all you got to do is look at the rebounding margin as to why they hold the lead.
Well, they've absolutely dominated that category in this one, and it's reflected in the score.
Knocked loose. So we see Tampa get the win here. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.